Welcome back folks, my name is LastKnownMeal and today we're gonna be talking about the Witcher 3 Next Gen update because CDPR has finally showed it yesterday on one of their RED streams. They also showed a trailer, they talked about a bunch of new info that we're going to talk about today, including all of the changes and details which are gonna be coming in the update itself. So we're gonna go through all of that, through the full summary, and then later on we're gonna be going through more details and some of the stuff that was interesting to see at least. So let's begin. So first things first, CDPR has announced this 2 years ago where we've learned that The Witcher 3 is gonna be getting some texture upgrades, generally just a visual enhancement overall. There has been some confusion if this is going to be a remake or a remaster, nothing out of the two. This is actually similar to The Witcher 1 that they released. Basically there was Witcher 1 which came out, and then later on they released The Witcher 1 Enhanced Edition, which was offering better textures again and some of the changes in the game itself. So it can be assumed that this is the similar HD remaster done for The Witcher 3 as well. So one of the first things they talked about, which they added, were obviously visual updates and improvements. So the first thing that they added was ray tracing. So right now when you go into the game, if you have an RTX, supported card, you're gonna be able to use it. Again, this is not a fully implemented ray tracing because again that would require a lot more, basically remastering the game again, which is something that CDPR didn't want to do because obviously didn't want to go and spend all of that time on this, which is somewhat understandable being a free update. Now also, as I said, they're gonna be offering you ray tracing. They're going to have improved screen space reflections, improved foliage, something that we had actually seen in the gameplay, where you can see that the grass and the general foliage around Geralt has been, well, improved, and also I think they added a bit more, which makes it a little bit better overall and gives you that it feels the scene a bit more than it did in the original game, where that foliage was kind of disappearing very close to you and there wasn't that much. They also added better textures. The foundation of those textures is basically Hulk Hogan mod for The Witcher, where Hulk Hogan went and he improved the texture quality on most of the stuff in the game. So CDPR used his mod as a basis for their improvements, and this is something they talked about again, where they reworked everything from the monsters to foliage to all of the other assets around Geralt in, the world itself. And also more visual improvements are coming to the game, as they said. Now also, this is gonna be coming with DLSS 3 support, obviously with all of the other DLSS if you don't have the latest series of GPUs, and also FSR 2.1, which was added for Cyberpunk recently, and this has also been added for The Witcher 3, so now your frame rate is going to be even better if you turn this on. Obviously I will analyze this once the game comes out. When it comes to camera controls and UI in general, some of the first things we have seen is that they added a new perspective to the camera itself. So the alternative option for the camera of Geralt brings you closer to Geralt himself, because in the vanilla Witcher, the camera itself is a lot more distant from Geralt, and the only way you can get this sort of camera, which is very close to the character, is maybe if you're carrying too much stuff so you have to walk around. So this has been added as a new perspective into the game. If you want to test it out, if you want to switch it on, you can do it that way, but if you want to maintain a classic camera, you can obviously do that as well. I mean, generally all of these changes, they can be reverted to the vanilla game if you want, so it's just basically an option. And also they added the alternative quick sign casting option, where basically now pressing a button gives you an ability to use any sign on your basically at your disposal. You don't have to go into the quick menu, select the sign and do it again. You can basically do it through the new system. And also they added a new option for the HUD and UI, where now it's going to be hidden if you want it that way, so it's not going to clog your screen too much, and it's only going to activate if you do certain things like activate Witcher senses and so on. Again, you can revert to the classical UI, but you can also leave this one, which is a lot more immersive and just gives you more screen in general to look at rather than looking at just hit markers and hit points and all of that. And of course they added the map filtering, which was actually present in Cyberpunk 2077, so now you can hide some of the things which you don't want to do in the game itself, or if you just want to filter out certain things like the city, maybe you want to do some side missions, maybe you do want to do main missions, you can filter all of that out now. So it's going to be a little better to look at in general. And as it was with Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3 is also gonna be getting a photo mode. It's very similar to the one from Cyberpunk itself. Like if you look at it, like even the menu itself is extremely similar. So yes, The Witcher 3 is gonna be getting a photo mode itself, and I'm gonna be testing this out, of course, when it comes out. I'm excited for it. When it comes to mods, they have integrated some of the community favorite mods. I'm going to go into detail which mods those are. Again, as I said, some of the biggest mods that CDPR has been using was Hulk Hogan texture mod, which increases the textures and quality of those textures. Of course, one of the saddest things that they haven't shown, maybe it's going to appear in the end, but right now they haven't shown it, was the Witcher Cloak. That was one of the biggest things I was actually expecting to see, because the Witcher Cloak is somewhat, you know, something that Geralt has in a trailer, and there's a mod for that which works great, so it would have been great if it was added into the game itself, but sadly it wasn't, so that's not going to be the case, at least right now. And of course they fixed some quests, and they added a new quest which we're going to talk about later. So what they said: "You've been asking for them and we couldn't say no. The next-gen update has also been an opportunity to revisit some of the issues in the quests. For the free next-gen update, it brings fixes to From Ophir's Distant Shores." This quest had problems, and also the scavenger hunt, Wolf's Cool Gear, and more. So if you had any issues with the quest before, CDPR promises that they will be fixed once the update comes out, because they even said it. They actually did another QA analysis of the game, so they went through it, they looked at all of the little bugs that the game had, some of the bigger ones, and they fixed them, which is a very nice thing to do. Now we arrived to the Netflix DLCs, and this has to be some of the funniest things I've ever seen, especially when it comes to The Witcher. So as it was announced, The Witcher 3 is going to offer some of the Netflix The Witcher stuff, which is a cross promotion between Netflix and CD Projekt, and some of the stuff they have shown is good, and some of the stuff they have shown is extremely questionable. So first off, at least when it comes to Geralt, we have seen that Geralt is gonna be having some of the armor from the Season 1 and Season 2 of, The Witcher itself, and all of those armor pieces are going to be as a diagram, and there is going to be a small quest that we're gonna be doing to acquire those diagrams and basically build that armor out. But from some of the images we've seen from the trailer itself, we can easily see how that armor looks like in general, and honestly for me it's fine, especially because it's also going to add the weapons. Like for example, we can see that the weapon that is used by Geralt in Netflix The Witcher, same weapon, they look so much different than like some of the swords that are in the original game, but nevertheless you're also gonna be getting the swords, the armor, and also the medallion itself, as we can see from one of these images. Now we come to something else. We arrive to alternative looks for Dandelion and Nilfgaard. So first things first, CDPR has added the Netflix series Nilfgaard armor from the Season 1. Yes, the armor that everyone talks about, which was one of the worst designs I've ever seen in my life, is now in The Witcher 3, most likely as a meme. I mean, there is no other reason why this would be included in the first place, but if you want Nilfgaard to look like this from the Season 1 of The Witcher from Netflix, well, you can do it now. And also they added an alternative look for Dandelion, which is supposed to look like Jaskier from Netflix The Witcher. There is a problem though. No, this is one of those cursed images, and this does not look like Dandelion or Jaskier or anything like that. I'm sorry, but this model is just bad. So they've shown this. I don't know if this is a joke again or if this is serious, but at least it's gonna be a meme-friendly material. But yeah, this does not look like Dandelion or Jaskier. It's completely off. It's way too off. It's very generic to be that character. And one of the more exciting things which were also added is the cross progression saves. So right now, you're gonna be able to have all of the saves that you have in the vanilla game without the update. You're gonna be able to use them with the update, so you don't have to start a new gameplay or a new game to use them in general. And also, this is gonna give you the ability to have all of the synced save across multiple platforms. So if you're playing, let's say, on PlayStation and you switch to PC, you know, for the rest of the day, your save is going to be as is because it's going to be uploaded to GOG Cloud. Again, if you want, it's an optional thing. Now also, another cool addition was added into the game where now you can pause the game during dialogue cutscenes. Yes, this actually wasn't possible before, especially for everyone who played the game before. Well, no, that wasn't the case. So that was also added into the game itself, which is nice. Now, of course, when it comes to the console-specific changes, there's going to be a few things. First off, when it comes to the quality of the visuals, there's going to be two modes, the performance one and ray tracing. Performance mode is going to be in 60 frames, while ray tracing mode is going to be in 30 frames. And when it comes to PlayStation 5 controller, they also added a haptic feedback you can enjoy right now. Sadly, that's not going to be available on PC, only on natively PlayStation 5. And also, one of the good things is that the fall damage has been reduced in this update, so yeah, you're not gonna be dying from fall damage just that easily anymore. That has also been fixed and confirmed by the devs. Now keep in mind, CDPR is going to release a patch note, full list, before this update comes out, so we're going to go through it once it properly comes out and we're going to see everything to be expected. They also announced some new surprises for that time when we get closer. Is it going to be a big surprise? Is it going to be a small surprise? We don't know, but it's probably going to be something extra on the side, nothing huge, so I wouldn't expect anything huge. Now let's talk more about the trailer itself. So yesterday when I was streaming, there has been a lot of like divided opinions. Some people are saying this is not too much, some people are saying that this is totally fine, this is what we expected. In my opinion, look, I was expecting just an HD rework. I was not expecting a full remake or a remaster in general, because that was never supposed to be the case, at least when it comes to The Witcher 3. The only remake which is gonna be coming out, a proper remake, is going to be about The Witcher 1. I'm telling you, this is the same like for The Witcher 1, and I believe even The Witcher 2 had this edition, where after some time they, you know, do an HD rework, an HD remaster, in that sense just an HD rework, and they push it out as an enhanced edition. It was the same for The Witcher 1, as I said, and now it's the same for The Witcher 3. Again, update is free, and just looking at everything like what was shown here, there is definitely difference. When I look at just the textures themselves, when I look at the distance, where now that LOD is has a lot more quality, it's better. There are still some lingering issues, like for example some LOD pop-ups, but that's pretty much tied to the Red engine itself. There is nothing they can do about it. So some of the things that were in the original game are still going to stay in that sense, like at least when it comes to those little glitches. But when it comes to everything else, in my opinion, that's totally fine. And just looking at different lighting, that is just going to be the different, to give you like a different scene in general. So better textures, better overall, you know, streaming memory was added into the game, so now even like on consoles you're going to see a lot more detail in the back. And for a PC, like if you have a fully modded version of The Witcher, like yeah, this is nothing special, this is nothing crazy, because the mods cover it, all of that. But this was primarily for consoles, and when it comes to consoles themselves, I think for them this is going to be one of the biggest upgrades out there, and there is going to be a visible difference. Again, this is from what I've seen from the trailer. I'm going to also cover it once this comes out, and I'm going to analyze everything, and we are going to compare properly how this looks like and how much was actually fixed. So that's pretty much for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will go further into details, analyze everything, do a comparison video tomorrow, because well, I'm gonna need more time for it. Thank you again for watching. Tell me down below, what do you think about this? Do you like it? Do you not like this? Just tell me down below. And also check us out on Twitter and Discord, and if you want to subscribe for more Witcher content, well, click the button down below, and huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. If you also want to support the channel in an extra way, I do have a Patreon page, so check it out. This is LKM signing out. Stay classy everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video. Bye bye.